Welcome back, MMAOddsBreaker. Of course, today we got Smiling Sam Alvey getting ready to fight Derek Brunson coming up here in UFC Fight Night 73. August 8th, Nashville, Tennessee. About 2 weeks away. So Sam's winding down his training camp right now. Obviously, best training camp of my life. I'm in the best shape of my life. Blah, 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 blah. What's it going to be like this week? You're 2 weeks out. What's it going to be like this week getting ready for
This week, I'm just hitting it as hard as I can. I never really worry about injuries because I'm unbreakable. And so I'm just hitting it hard.
I'm not sure if you saying that is like, hey, I'm unbreakable just because I'm just going to say it because I'm going to say it, or if you actually believe it, and that means it's a little bit dangerous. Like, you got to,
the older I get, the less unbreakable I become.
It's weird how that works out, right?
Yeah, it's like now standing up and sitting down hurts. It's ridiculous.
You say you're going to hit as hard as you can this week. That means you're going to spar without headgear on and little gloves and taking full shots at each other, or you?
No. We'll have our little glove sparring, but it's always controlled. I'll spar again today, later today, and then Friday probably. Headgear on, of course, big 16-ounce gloves. Then Tuesday, Thursday will be little gloves, more controlled, and then Wednesday will be just straight up jiu-jitsu, and that'll just be the pro classes. Then I'll have my kickboxing and jiu-jitsu classes throughout the week also.
So when you say kickboxing class, like what happens in a kickboxing class? Is it all pad and mitt work, or are you actually moving and sparring and feathering with somebody?
I do that with a couple guys that don't fight. Just they want to move around with the pro, so I do that a little bit. And then it's kind of neat because I'm not allowed to hit them back, really. I can touch them or pitter-pat them, so it's more head movement, dancing, moving my feet around, just trying to get them to miss. But the classes I do, they're just more mitt work, pad work, stuff like that, on top of the actual where I work with the coaches and stuff.
I want to take us back for a little bit, back to August 18th of 2014. That's Tom Watson. That was your last loss. I just interviewed Tom, and I asked him, I go, hey, he hasn't felt really well his last couple of fights. Like he said, making the change. He's moved from, obviously, Rain Training Center with Mark Munoz is closed. Mm-hmm. He's kind of driving around LA trying to find a spot. He's moved out to the Black Zillions. He feels very comfortable with the Black Zillions. He has Neil Melanson, my old grappling coach. So he's like, I finally found a coach that actually fits my style, can help me improve. Like, he's finally found that little niche. I said, when was the last time you actually felt good in a fight? He goes, Sam Alvey. The last time he was like, that's like one of the best training camps I've ever had. It was like one of the best attitudes I had, mentally, physically, everything put together. I felt great walking into that fight. How did you feel that night? Now, obviously, it's tough because you lost, but you have to, and it's a decision. It wasn't like you got caught and got knocked out. It wasn't like you got caught in some random submission. It was a decision. So you had a lot of time to work, a lot of time to feel. How did you feel in that fight? Can you remember that far back?
Yeah, it was my last loss, and that one fight was longer than my next 3 fights combined. I didn't feel bad in it. I really wish I could blame it on the UFC jitters. It was my UFC debut, but it really wasn't. I just didn't perform. I went out there. I felt good at the beginning of every round. Nothing really hurt. Nothing was. I just kept myself from really unwinding. So since then, especially what was his name? The first Australian fight,
Dylan Andrews?
Yeah, I was going to say Anderson. Dylan Andrews. I spent that whole camp trying to break out of my, going slow groove. And it paid off. That was kind of a weird knockout, but I rolled with it. And then I had Cesar, and it was a little slower, but I was looking to do something a little earlier, and I did. And then this last fight was, I took off. I kind of played my game right away. And it was all based on how poorly I did in that Watson fight. I felt fine going into Watson. I just showed up slow.
And that's a tough pill to swallow because we're all like, as athletes, we all want to go, no, it was like I had a bad elbow, I had a bad knee, my neck was hurt, my shoulder was hurt, like something to blame it on. It's the hardest when you go, I just didn't perform. Like I just didn't come out and do my job. It was your coaches did their jobs, your corners did their job, your nutritionists did their job, you just didn't perform.
Yeah, and that was exactly it. Everything was right going into that. I think if 5 weeks before the fight, I got a cut, like I took 12 stitches or something. And so that took me out for a week. But everybody in every camp has a story like that, so it doesn't mean anything. I just didn't perform that night.
So it's obviously worked out for you. That loss actually helped you more than anything else. Like if you'd won that decision, who knows where we'd be sitting right now. You put on 3 KOs. Well, the last was a TKO, but you put on 2 KOs in a row, then a TKO, and you fought like maybe 7 minutes total time. A little bit less than that for all 3 fights. How do you see this fight coming out with Derek Brunson? Because he's strong, athletic, quick. You got to kind of bully him to get him to slow down. You got to kind of stay in his face to make him stop doing stuff. Like this is a little bit. It's the same fight but different.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not the most athletic person I ever fought, but he's probably the best wrestler I've ever fought, at least at this level. And that kind of makes him a scary dude because all he has to do is hold me down for, the better half of 15 minutes. And I've worked really hard not letting him do it. I've always had decent takedown defense. I've always been really good at getting back up. But again, I've never fought anyone with quite the wrestling background he has. Paul Bradley I fought years ago, but I fought in the rain with that one. It got canceled. But so I've really been, he has simplified my camp because I know his game plan is he wants to take me down. Just why wouldn't he? He's got so much success there. So I found some new training partners, some new positions, and I think I'm ready for him.
Who'd you bring in? You said new training partners. Who are they?
I talked to, there's a wrestling school down here, Cal Baptist, and one of my training parts, Ashley Yoder, her boyfriend runs the wrestling team there. So I brought in his wrestling team, and I basically put myself on my back for the last 8 weeks. Said, all right, hold me down, fellas. And frustrating as hell. God, stupid wrestlers. Yeah, but you know what? You start kind of getting a feel of what they want to do, what they're going to do, and you start getting up and getting away. And then towards the end, they even let me start punching back a little bit, and then I started feeling really good once I could get up and strike a little.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you put together a good plan for camp, and then now you have to worry about getting elbowed and getting punched if he does get you down, and he does keep you down, and he gets in a position to hit you. You have to worry about all that whole mess, but it sounds like you've kind of put together, like you kind of an understanding of how this fight is going to go. Do you usually you see yourself being able to, especially over the last 3, you've been able to see yourself knock out a guy or TKO him? Do you still be able to stop Derek in this one too?
I think I can stop anyone. I think he's probably going to be more difficult to stop than the other guys because I have to worry about him shooting under my punches. When none of the other guys I was really expecting it. Dylan did shoot under a punch, but I wasn't expecting him to. And then the last 2 I just caught on their way in. He's very knockoutable. I've seen it happen to him before in the UFC even. It's just a matter of if I can catch him without him getting under me.
It's going to be an interesting fight. Like I said, my early pick, for those of you at home that don't know, Sam and I text each other off camera all the time. And so he texted me and asked me what I thought about this fight. I said, look, my early pick is Derek because he's strong, wrestler, can hold him down, can hit him down, but also has that weird looping, almost Henderson-esque punch where he'll shoot as he's shooting with his throw an arm up and people kind of run into it sometimes. But I also did say that, like Sam just said, that he has been knocked out before. He does get hit. He will get hit. He will give up boxing defense to take a shot, which means the perfect time to hit him is when you've been hitting guys on their way in. They're coming in looking to come in and clinch up or coming in for a shot, and that's when you've been catching them. So I told Sam, very honestly, my early pick was Derek. Now listen to your game plan and kind of how you put yourself together. Of course, I haven't been in camp. I haven't watched you do these things, so I don't know. I haven't been in Derek's camp. It kind of puts it to a draw now for me. Like it could go either way. If he takes you down and holds you down, it could be a problem. But it could also make him exhausted because he has to keep taking you down. You keep getting up, and all of a sudden, we all know you have to take a guy down 3 times around. It makes you exhausted. It's a lot of work to take and hold a man down. And then all of a sudden now, second round, I'm exhausted trying to reach for these takedowns. My arms get further away. They get wider. And your punches come through a lot cleaner. So now I'm at a draw, Sam. Thanks. You got me. Now I'm on a fence again.
No, I tell you what, you should just switch to me now. You've been right the last 4 fights. You just switch to me now. You'll be right 5 in a row.
Well, today is Monday. I will do all my picks for your card on Sunday. So by Sunday, I have to have my decision made. So Sunday, I'll text you.
All right, that sounds great.
You may not like to see the text, but I'm gonna text you. I'll let you know what it is. It's funny because I have been correct in the last 4 fights for Sam. That's why we talk because I don't know why. I just am able to break down his fights better than most other people's fights.
Yeah, you've been on point. I think you've been around slow on the last two, but
I said 2 for Cesar, so you're gonna catch him in 2 because he slows down, and then Kelly, I said actually I'm 2 rounds slow on Kelly. I said it'll be late in the third.
Yeah,
you caught him in the first, and you caught him early in the first. I was way off on that one.
Yeah, he came at me a lot faster than I thought he was.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna slow play me a little bit, and he didn't.
He usually paces out. I can only go off of what guys do in their last couple of fights, and he usually paces out. Takes his time, finds his space, picks and hunts, and then tries to engage a little bit later. He came out right away, and you're like, okay, just run into this thing.
Yeah. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, right? It makes for a nice, easy night. So,
yeah.
I kind of have a feeling, as I'm sitting here talking, that it might be a little bit more of the same, but because Derek can take you down and hold you down, it'll be in the second now. Again, it'll be like later in the second, beginning of the third, because it's he's gonna lay on you. He's gonna take you down at some point. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen.
I know it will. He said, as good as I am at stopping stuff, he's really good at taking people down. So I know it's gonna happen, and I know I can get back up. Who knows? Maybe I'll submit him.
You won't be able to hear me from Hawaii, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be. If you submit him, I'll be flipping. I'll be bouncing up and down the couch.
If I submit him, I'll be bouncing up and down.
They will. If you submit them, they will have to give you submission of the night. There's no way around. They have to give it to you.
It's only been 6 years since I've gotten a submission.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's like no choice. Like, oh, Sam got a submission. We have no choice. You have to give it to this guy. He's gonna get submission tonight. That's how it's gonna work. So, Sam, thanks for coming out here again, man. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your training camp.
Like I said, thank you very much. It'll be a good week.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Hey, we'll talk to you soon.